The reasoning behind opposing brain-computer interface implants is pretty straightforward. Smartphone effects are harmful. Implants will magnify the smartphone effects. Therefore, implants will magnify the harm. The research has become vast and compelling. Smartphones and social media cause psychological, physical, and physiological damage to humans. But for all the harm, at least we occasionally can step away from them. With brain phones, we will always be connected. The trauma currently caused by smartphones will be powerfully amplified by implants. The damage to the human mind might be unparalleled. People with brain phones might find themselves acting as human hives, always tuned into and slave to collective thought and opinion. They might also look and behave very differently than people of today. Put bluntly, it might be the end of humanity as we know it. It's also worth considering brain phone damage from the vantage point of addiction. Smartphones and social media tend to be highly addictive. Smartphone and social media addiction has increased anxiety and depression. It has dramatically reduced sleep and sleep quality. It has increased the number of pedestrian deaths and the number of car deaths. Teens addicted to their smartphones are 50% more likely to be clinically depressed than those from a previous generation. They are twice as likely to commit suicide. So why isn't there societal outcry about these devices? That's easy. We've all become addicted to them. And it's tough to control your kids when you yourself has a problem too. Chamath Palihapitiya, a former vice president at Facebook, has admitted in interviews to feeling somewhat guilty for setting up Facebook in such a way that gets people addicted to fast feedback response loops that create notions of social validation in our minds and that are specifically meant to get people hooked on the dopamine that these loops generate in our brains. These types of apps not only have people addicted, but they've caused a very distinctive rewiring of the mind and a noticeable hypersensitivity. It really has begun to destroy how society functions, how communities function, and how government functions. And it's going to get a whole lot worse. With brain phone implants, it will go off a cliff. There are two other types of addiction to consider: addiction to wealth and addiction to power. People who run corporations and governments tend to have these addictions, and gaining access to everyone's thoughts via brain phones at all times certainly will feed these addictions and give the people in control their daily fix. Therefore, there's little reason to think that these institutions will ever oppose the implants. But there's always hope. I'm Scott Snair. Thanks for listening.